This is WHSV TV3 News at 6.
We are live at Longwood University. I'm Morgan Donnelly, and I'll have a preview of what you can expect tonight at the vice presidential debate.
Plus, the Valley getting ready for one of those candidates to stop by. What's being done here at the fairgrounds ahead of tomorrow's big rally for Mike Pence.
We are hours away from the first and only vice presidential debate between Democratic nominee Tim Kaine and Republican nominee Mike Pence. Good evening, I'm Bob Corso. WHSV's Morgan Donnelly is live at Longwood University for the debate this evening. Morgan, I am sure these candidates have spent a lot of time preparing for this debate.
Well, Bob, if I was having to prepare for one of these debates, it would probably take me years. But for the two candidates preparing to take to tonight's stage, they have spent many months, some of them even preparing since they were tapped as the vice presidential nominee. Now, U.S. Senator Tim Kaine, who's running as the Democratic vice presidential nominee along with Hillary Clinton, says he first started his prep for this debate by reading and absorbing as much information as possible before doing any mock debates. We know last week he spent some time in Raleigh, North Carolina, as well as his hometown of Richmond, Virginia, and then in Washington, D.C. That's where he did a mock debate with attorney Robert Barnett as the stand-in person as Governor Mike Pence in those mock debates. Now, on the other side, Governor Mike Pence, running as the Republican vice presidential nominee, says he took some time to brush up on what he calls Washington issues. After all, he's spent some time as the governor of Indiana for several years, so he says it was important to brush up on those Washington issues. We know that he did spend some time in Wisconsin last week for a mock debate with Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker as a stand-in for Kaine. But tonight, all eyes are on Farmville, Virginia, a small town of 8,000 people. And today, Amanda Kenny spent some time in the small town of Farmville talking to both Clinton and Trump supporters.
From Main Street and down the street.
Oh, all aboard the Trump train, yeah. we just like that one the best. There was many to choose from.
Supporters from both candidates are in full force here in Farmville. And even though third-party candidate Gary Johnson isn't debating, a supporter from Lynchburg is here.
I'm not really happy because, a lot of voters, around 10% of voters, are not being represented on that debate stage.
And if tonight's debate doesn't sway voters either way, Longwood University is having seminars across campus to make sure they're informed. I spoke with a lot of supporters on both sides, but all Clinton supporters declined to talk on camera. For WHSV, I'm Amanda Kenny.
Now tomorrow, Mike Pence will be making his way to the Valley. He's set to hold a rally in Rockingham County at the fairgrounds on Route 11. That's where we find WHSV's Jared Klein. He joins us from where the rally is going to take place. Jared, what's it looking like out there?
Well, Bob, there's actually a lot going on here at the fairgrounds. People have been here throughout the day getting things set up ahead of tomorrow's rally. An estimated 2,000 people will be in attendance. Now, Nikki Narduzzi will be in that crowd. She is a volunteer at the Trump campaign headquarters down in Stanton. So far this election season, she's been knocking on doors and making phone calls for the Republican ticket. She'll also be volunteering tomorrow at the rally. I spoke with Narduzzi earlier today. She says she hopes Pence will encourage people to come out, vote, and volunteer.
I saw him at another rally in Northern Virginia, and I actually don't remember what he said, but I remember how he made me feel, and just very excited for the future of America, and I think he can do that for a lot of Valley voters.
Now, if you do plan on coming out and attending this rally tomorrow, be sure you're here no later than 10:30. The gates will open at 9:30, and you also cannot bring umbrellas or lawn chairs, so make sure you leave those items at home. This is an outdoor event, so there will be very limited seating, so make sure you plan on that. In Rockingham County, I'm Jared Klein, WHSV.
And we will have team coverage of Pence's visit to the Valley. WHSV's Morgan Donnelly and Jansen Silvers will be at the fairgrounds all day tomorrow. Our coverage starts at 5 a.m. on Daybreak. Following up on an Augusta County man accused of killing his wife, the trial for Charles Spencer started this morning in an Augusta Circuit Court. He was indicted earlier this year and charged with first-degree murder. Today in the courtroom, family members remembered the last times they saw Joanne Spencer alive in December of 2003. Jurors listened as investigators described what they saw when they first received the report for a missing person and what they found when they received a call from a man in McDowell County in January of 2004 reporting he found a body. According to investigators, Charles Spencer, known to his friends and family as Melvin, made incriminating statements to a confidential informant on March 6th, allegedly admitting to the murder. Melvin has pleaded not guilty. Meteorologist Greg Master is in the First Alert Weather Center this evening. So, Greg, what sort of temperature should we expect for this evening?
Very comfortable. It has been a beautiful fall day across the area. Did make it up into the 70s, but we have since seen those drop off a little bit, but not too bad if you do want to get outdoors. Current temperatures right now still hanging on to the lower 70s in some spots, although I suspect more of you have now dipped into the upper 60s, and it will remain fairly pleasant. Certainly maybe a light jacket needed, but nothing really to complain about as we head on into the evening. First Alert Radar satellite continuing to show a very quiet picture across the area. The one trend we are noticing, though, is a little bit more cloud cover coming in from the north and east. We've seen that this afternoon, and that will continue as we head into the evening and the overnight hour. Just a little bit more unsettled weather off in that direction heading our way, and that'll be kind of the first sign of some changes to come in our weather. So increasing clouds overnight tonight. That'll have an impact on our temperatures the next couple of days as we cool off a little bit from what we've been earlier this week. And of course, all eyes are on Hurricane Matthew. And coming up, I'll have the latest on the storm as it bears down in the eastern tip of Cuba and where it's headed next, plus how one local charity hopes to make a difference.
But next, tonight, the Harrisonburg School Board is meeting to discuss future plans for the 2017 school year, how their decisions may affect your students at home.